Please turn off your candles and have a seat. Candles can be placed beneath your chairs. Members of the Board of Education, Mr. Portis, Dr. Calabro, Mr. Hazler, Mrs. Marshall, Mr. Kirkland, PTH administration, members of the faculty, parents, and students, welcome to the 2021 National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. At this time, will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We are gathered here to formally recognize and officially induct our newest members. I know personally that this accomplishment was not without hard work, discipline, and dedication to your academic studies as well as to your community. Each of you will soon become a part of the nation's oldest, largest, and most prestigious student recognition program and join a chapter of some of Pequannock's best student leaders. Though now is the time for congratulations, it is also important to remember the high standard of excellence each of you must maintain as a National Honor Society scholar. In addition to the impressive academic achievements of the chapter, our members are leaders in countless athletics, clubs, and activities in our town, and volunteer as tutors through our school district. You have worked long and hard to reach this point. A rigorous academic schedule combined with extracurriculars, sports, and countless other responsibilities is no easy feat. Please, I ask you, take this evening to reflect on the great success that this honor represents and understand that you have the talent, work ethic, and capability to achieve any goal. Move forward into the future feeling confident, proud, and eager to take on any challenge that you may encounter. It is truly my privilege to be a part of this chapter, and I am overjoyed to be recognizing all of our new inductees this evening. It is at this time that we proclaim to all in attendance that membership in the Neva Fena chapter of the National Honor Society has been earned by these candidates through the effective demonstration of the 4 qualities that serve as standards for the society. Current members of the chapter will now review these qualities for the candidates. Scholarship will be read by Paige McCoy.
As newly inducted members of the National Honor Society, you have all demonstrated hard work and academic success during your time at PTHS, clearly exemplifying the first pillar of scholarship. Scholarship is not just displayed through the results, like grades or report cards, but also through your commitment and determination to better yourself within the classroom. You have shown that you are willing to put in the time and effort necessary to succeed. From studying for an important test to going in for extra help with your teacher, your commitment to learning does not go unnoticed. I assure you that the skills you have developed during your time in the classroom, you will continue to benefit you for the rest of your high school and beyond. Whether it's during college, your future career, or any other goals you wish to pursue. I want to congratulate you all on your academic success, and I wish you the best of luck as you continue pursuing opportunities to grow and learn both inside and outside of the classroom.
The second pillar of the National Honor Society is service. Service includes our day-to-day contributions, such as holding the door open for a classmate or watching over your siblings. It also includes extended efforts, such as providing resources for those in need or raising awareness of a topic. As NHS candidates, you have demonstrated your desire to help others within our school and community. Your passion for service has brought positive change, such as improvements to our environment and the joy of others. Your future membership will set an example for your peers to follow, teaching them the importance of charity, hospitality, and gratitude. Robert Ingersoll, an American lawyer dedicated to servicing our nation, stated, "We rise by lifting others." As future members of the NHS, the beginning of your ascent has just begun.
Members of the National Honor Society, including the inductees here today, demonstrate leadership within their community. Taking its spot as the third pillar, leadership directly results in productivity. Those who see success due to their confidence, strong will, and determination. Leadership can be displayed at many different levels. As you all progress through high school, many of you have decided to fill positions on club executive boards or serve as a team captain for your sport. You might even simply be taking a more prominent role in your classes on a daily basis. You've acquired a specific, motivated attitude to work towards your goals, separating you from the crowd. These steps to have an impact on others around you shape you as a student and prepare you for a bright future. There is no shortage of demand for leaders out in the real world, and I know that many of you will fill these spots one day. So remember your roots and lead with pride.
What comprises us as people and gives us each individuality all relates to what we know as character. In the words of American inventor John Hayes Hammond, character is the real foundation of all worthwhile success. The decisions we choose to make and the conclusions we arrive at ultimately reflect upon our character. The choice to work hard in all your classes, extracurriculars, sports, and other activities inside and outside of school has put you all in this honorable position. We know this tumultuous year has been difficult to manage, but each of you has chosen each day the best work of which you're capable. To be part of this organization means you have exceeded any and all expectations, and you have put a great deal of time and effort into your education and furthermore passion. I understand school may not appear to be the most suitable place to facilitate your hopes and dreams, and this year has certainly brought forth its own unique challenges, but it is all a part of the process to eventually achieve your goals and make your mark on the world. Each and every one of the inductees we are proud to have this year have in one way or another exhibited strength, pride, and integrity. Whether the spotlight is on our society members or not, we strive to make the right decisions for not just ourselves, but those around us. We expect and are confident that the future NHS expresses their character, and they encourage the next group of young, bright individuals to do the same. Being the fourth pillar of the National Honor Society, we endorse this quality just as much as our other pillars, and we hope for you all to make these elements with you as lessons, not just for your educational career, but throughout your lifetime.
Now we will hear from our guest speaker, Mr. Kirkland.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, good evening, congratulations, and any other appropriate address that you may have had in mind. Imagine that I just said that. Thank you to everyone whose efforts have made this event possible. Mr. Hazler, Mrs. Marshall, Mr. Portis, board members, faculty, staff, parents, current Honor Society members, and the individuals here tonight without which this event would not be necessary, the inductees. It's an honor to be here with you and have the opportunity to celebrate on this occasion. Now, I'd like to expand on acknowledging how much I appreciate you inviting me to have the opportunity to speak to you. For many of you, this won't be the first time I've tried to find words that will resonate with you in some way. And for some others, I apologize in advance for any therapy you may feel the need to attend in the future. Just remember, you voted for this. An additional thank you for bringing your parents with you to celebrate the occasion. I've been long awaiting an opportunity to trip over my words and embarrass myself in front of a much broader audience, and you've provided me with that. Dream fulfilled. Next time we'll go bigger. Now, for those who don't know me, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Chris Kirkland. I've been teaching here at Pequannock as a member of the mathematics department for the past 6 years. I've encountered many of these inductees as either students or just friendly passersby on both their best and worst days. I've enjoyed every moment of encouraging them to push further on their best and finding ways to make the worst not seem so bad. In this role as guest speaker, I have big shoes to fill that are twofold. First, I have much respect for many of the individuals who've had this chance in the past, and I want nothing more than to do justice to the opportunity that has been put in front of me. I don't want to let them down. Second, I have even further respect for the accomplishments and efforts of the inductees we honor this evening, and understand that their will is in large part responsible for my being here. I'm not always eloquent, but I make an effort to be genuine. Not always adequately filtered, but at the same time, I do choose my words very carefully. I don't want to let you down. Now, let's get straight to it. I've spent a great deal of time trying to come up with what I would even spend this time with you speaking about. There's so much that could be touched upon or brought up that I didn't know where to start. I'm not afraid to admit this is outside of my comfort zone. Not the act of speaking in front of you all. I don't fear that. But the process of preparing to speak in front of you all. That presented itself as a bit daunting. I'm not what you would typically refer to as scripted. Okay, so I'll rephrase that. I'm about as far from scripted as you can get. I actually warned administration about that as soon as I found out I had been chosen, and the response was extremely positive. Mr. Hazler is also 100% confident that I am by no means scripted. Not exactly the confidence boost that I was hoping for, but at least it confirmed what I had believed. Now, he did offer a piece of advice, though, which relates to something I've already said. You voted on this, so there must be a reason for my being up here. Now, part of why I feel anyone's even remotely engaged or entertained when I speak is the idea that even I don't really know for sure what I'm going to say next. In most cases, the conversation could literally go anywhere. The phrase, "you can't get there from here," is not part of my repertoire. A phrase like that can only be met with one response. Challenge accepted. Now, I've tried to both prepare and be true to my unscripted self at the same time. Challenge accepted. Needless to say, the name of the game for the past few weeks, because with the delay, obviously the first run of this is thrown entirely out the window, has been discomfort. Trying to overcome that state of discomfort, I thought about other times where I had been uncomfortable and how I got past it. This led me to think about all the different ways that you could be uncomfortable, and how many of them on the list I had experienced firsthand. A logical place to start is with physical discomfort, pain. Now, I've been physically uncomfortable on a number of occasions. Severely broken finger playing football when I was in high school led to a plate and 6 screws. Now, in the moment, that's really uncomfortable. At the time, the only response I could come up with was play through it. Now, that injury changed my opportunities and led me to rowing. Discomfort is found everywhere, and pain found me when I began rowing as well. Inexperienced rowers together in a boat leads to a very wobbly ride. No one tells you ahead of time that this means you'll likely bounce your knuckles off the gunnels. Those are the sides of the boat. As you try to slide forward to take another stroke, that action slowly grates at the skin on the back of your fingers. Quite honestly, if you had been warned this was possible, you'd have decided right then and there that rowing wasn't for you. Who would do that to themselves on purpose? However, in the moment, the only recourse is to push beyond that discomfort and continue rowing. Now, discomfort doesn't stop at physical. Academic discomfort is very real and very familiar. It might be disappointment in the results of an assessment that you're sure you knew the material it covered, or constructive criticism on a paper that necessitates it be rewritten almost in its entirety. You'd already spent the time studying, and so it's uncomfortable to find out the results were less than you felt that time was worth. And you'd already invested so much in writing the paper that finding it needed hours of revision seemed utterly devastating. Now, in addition to this, you've persevered through the most uncomfortable situation educationally that we've encountered. For me, this was professional discomfort. For you as students, you've been made uncomfortable in unimaginable ways over the past year as the educational setting has been reshaped around you time and time again through no fault of yours or anyone else's. The state of the world required us to be malleable, and we've responded in kind. At no point was it not uncomfortable, but we continued to find ways to change and meet the challenge we were presented with. We can also be uncomfortable socially. Entering a crowded room in which we know very few of the faces in the crowd can be difficult. Honestly, after a year of staying out of crowds, the idea of even finding one makes me a little uncomfortable. Now, the last example I have is about mental discomfort. Sometimes we don't feel quite right in our own skin. Sometimes we don't think that what we're doing is good enough. Negative thoughts outweigh the positive. Every ounce of those instances is uncomfortable. I've been there, I see you, and I'm standing up here in front of you, not defined by those moments, but stronger for them. Now, there's a purpose to bringing up all these uncomfortable situations. Discomfort leads to change. In the case of rowing, it led to emphasizing the technical aspects, training that to make yourself not bang your fingers off the gunnels. That experience, as fun as it is, not doing that seemed like it could be even more fun. It leads to moving faster. Now, without the discomfort, that process would have been slowed. I'd have been hesitant to change. In the case of that disappointing assessment, it leads us to change the way we prepare, or maybe makes us decide that preparing at all is probably a good idea. These changes allow us to form new habits that will serve us well when the material we're learning becomes more difficult. When it moves beyond what common sense can help us to reason through in the moment, and requires that we spend actual time on our own, making sense of things prior to being judged on whether or not we've made sense of them. Professionally, that ever-changing surrounding and circumstances forced me to change how content is delivered, and understanding has been assessed. Now, as well as truly reflecting on what the most valuable aspects of the content are and ensuring they receive the time they deserve. Walking into a crowded room. That one's difficult. What can you change? Now, many of you have at least a few friends that you've known since one of the first few years of school. If you think back, kindergarten, first grade. In those years, you had no choice but to enter a room where you knew next to no one on the first day. You came away with memories and bonds that still exist. Why should an unfamiliar crowd be dealt with any differently if you encounter it tomorrow? If 5-year-old you knew how to deal with it, young adult you can change and readopt that thinking. Now, the last one is even harder, more uncomfortable than most of the others, because it's discomfort that, in many cases, we're not only experiencing, but also manifesting for ourselves at a rate that seems infinite. I snuck math in there. Not because we choose to, but because we have no idea how to stop it. We can. Change happens slowly, and only if a strong desire for change is truly your intent. The biggest change that's likely necessary is to stop trying to handle that alone. You'll undermine your own efforts every time. Let someone else in on the plan. Now, right now you're thinking, he's rambling. Apologies if you feel that way. I'm not. I'm just trying to make sure that there's a clear understanding of how what I'm saying could be related to any one of you here tonight. I've identified so many different ways we can be uncomfortable and explain that it'll lead to change. Some things change for the better, and some things just change. The latter we can't control. The former are the changes we're making. Changes for the better are fueled by discomfort and aided by intention. Discomfort leading to change because change is the enemy of complacency. Complacency is where good ideas and good intentions shrivel up and get carried away on the wind. But we're here tonight because you've fought complacency. Tonight we're here because you've persevered in the face of adversity and maintained a level of excellence that some of your peers have not. We're here tonight to acknowledge your constant efforts, which deserve to be applauded and celebrated. Change is the enemy of complacency because change is the catalyst for growth. Experiencing growth keeps us realizing what is possible. Growth keeps us moving ahead and leads us closer to our goals. We're never guaranteed a straight path, nor a path devoid of obstacles, setbacks, or further discomfort. But if we do encounter discomfort and make the necessary changes, we'll at least find ourselves continuing on the path, and that path leads to success. So discomfort is welcome because it leads to change. Change is our catalyst for growth, and growth will help us stay on that path towards success. I'm proud of each of you and the success that you've already achieved, and look forward to hearing of those successes yet to come. Some of you here are due to be released into the wild soon, and others we'll get more time still with. But the message is the same. Embrace discomfort so you can realize the opportunity you've been presented with and keep moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirkland. At this time, will the new inductees please rise as we light our candles and prepare to recite the pledge? Please join me in reciting the National Honor Society pledge. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society to which I have been selected. Oh. I'm sorry, I'll go one sentence at a time, or segment. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands. I will be loyal to my school and will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Thank you. Please extinguish your candles and have a seat. As your name is called, please step forward to receive your membership pin and certificate and to sign the official chapter registry. Row 1, please stand. Gentia Medi, Christina Banya, Jenna Barbosa, Samantha Bellman, Ethan Bernstein, Alyssa Bua, Matthew Baginski, Danielle Canizero, Victoria Chavez, Charlie Falls, you may be seated. Second row, please stand. Grace Fisher, Elena Forrest, Ruby Frank, Kaylin Gaffey, Marlon Gonzalez, Timothy Greff, Connor Griffith, Sebastian Hill, Jenna Karate, you may be seated. May the third row please stand. Michael Majera, Olivia Mazies, Kate Markowski, Kayla Martini, Matthew Muste, Sarah Maybe, Deborah Mercage, Lucas Nacion, Charlotte O'Hare, Jordan Piccolo, you may be seated. May the fourth row stand. Morgan Powers, Olivia Restano. David Rigoglioso. Catherine Sechdalin. Lily Santana. Jennifer Schiffel. Luke Shore. Ethan Sutherland. Haley Tolles. Kyle Tomaskovic. Nicole Watson. You may be seated. And now, please welcome our principal, Mr. Hazler. Please welcome our principal, Mr. Hazler, who will offer closing remarks to the new members.
Let's give our new members one more round of applause. It's amazing. As I was watching them, I was saying to myself, I remember seeing them standing in the parking lot of PV school, many of them in 6th grade as they started, and now to watch them is truly just amazing. And so congratulations. Good evening, Mr. Portis, Dr. Calabro, Board of Education members, Mrs. Mildner, Mr. Silipina, Pequannock administrators, Mrs. Marshall, PTHS faculty and staff, parents, friends, community members, and most importantly, the Pequannock Township High School National Honor Society induction class of 2021. It is an honor and a privilege to stand here tonight as the proud principal of Pequannock Township High School. Before I begin my closing remarks, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the National Honor Society advisor, Mrs. Marshall, for all of her hard work in organizing this program. Thank you, Mrs. Marshall. One of the highlights for me is that this program is entirely student-run. And so for that, I would like to thank our senior leaders for leading us tonight in this program. So thank you, ladies. I'd like to thank our secretarial staff, our guidance counselors, and PTHS faculty for all of their work in helping prepare our students for tonight's program. And Mr. Kirkland, wow, thank you so much for your inspiring message. And I think you're going to be teaching also in the English department next year. So congratulations. Well done. I'd like to thank all of you in the audience tonight, the parents and family members who have guided and supported your children throughout their educational careers. As a father myself of a middle school child, and now I can only imagine how proud you are sitting there watching your children out here on this field. And lastly, thank you to the students for your tireless dedication to your studies and for all that you have done to just be tremendous young adults. And I'm so proud to share this moment with you tonight. Tonight we induct 42 members into the Untitled Chapter of the National Honor Society here at Pequannock Township High School. While there have been many induction classes that have come before this one, the students that sit before us tonight have demonstrated their ability to learn, to serve, to lead in unprecedented times. The students that sit before us tonight have demonstrated that no matter the challenge that lay before them, even a global pandemic, their character, their determination, their hard work, their perseverance, and their spirit would guide their way in living their excellence. I am probably not the first to admit that these past 14 months have been extremely tough. They have tested our strength. They've tested our resilience, our stamina, our dedication, our commitment, and pretty much every other word that you can contribute to being successful. I've been on this journey with you as we have watched the landscape of education, the landscape of society, change right before our very eyes. Everything that we have known about school, everything that we have learned or have been taught, right down to the daily routines as simple as getting out of our pajamas to go to school, went from ordinary to abnormal. During tough times, I always look for sources of inspiration, something or someone that will keep me on the straight and narrow path, give me a focus. If you ever walk by the main office, you will notice that I write a daily quote on the board for staff and students every day. In the beginning of the year, I found one that stuck out to me as a source of inspiration, one that I really needed at this time. And instead of putting it on the board, I put it on a Post-it note and taped it to my MacBook so I could see it every day when I opened up my computer. And the quote says, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny." The quote reminds me that through these difficult times, we're all being prepared for something special, something remarkable, something extraordinary. And as I opened up my MacBook to write the speech, this quote also reminded me of you, who are sitting in front of us tonight, as being extraordinary people. Regardless of what was happening around you, you all demonstrated a myopic focus to maintain what you have worked so hard to achieve since the moment you walked through the doors of PTHS. And long before that, it was excellence in all that you do. You maintained high levels of achievement in your classes. You've balanced virtual and hybrid schedules, cohorts, temporary closures, cancellations, and yes, trying to figure out how to learn via Zoom and Google Meet, take assessments, even master the art of the mute button. You continued to serve, whether it was for PTHS or the community. You represented yourselves with pride. Your service to others, your school, and the community is needed now more than ever. Your willingness to give back, to raise awareness, to stand for a cause, it's not just a noble act, it's a critical one. As members of the National Honor Society, you now have a responsibility to be a beacon of hope whenever it's necessary. Service is not an hourly requirement, it's a lifetime commitment. All of you inducted tonight have demonstrated exemplary leadership, whether it's been in the classroom, on the athletic field, in your organizations, your religious establishments, or in your community. You have inspired and motivated others. Even just conversations with me in the hallway, you've demonstrated tremendous leadership. As the world gets restarted, your leadership will be necessary to guide those who are in search of direction, who need a purpose, who need to see that extraordinary is possible. Your perseverance, honesty, integrity, sacrifice, trustworthiness, confidence, and optimism are all attributes that you will continue to show on your way to an extraordinary destiny. The quote, a person's true character is revealed when nobody is watching, reminds me of the importance of the role that each of you now plays in the success of not just this high school, but in our larger community. While it is the personal commitment to ethical and compassionate decision-making that affects oneself and others, your character is the real foundation to your success. Tonight is yet another accomplishment in fulfilling a destiny that we all know is possible for each of you. Enjoy this moment. It is a culmination of all that you stand for: character, leadership, scholarship, and service. Congratulations to this year's inductees of the Pequannock Township High School, Untitled Chapter of the National Honor Society. Please join me one more time in a round of applause for our inductees.
Thank you, Mr. Hazler. At this time, I would like to thank you all for attending our NHS induction ceremony. Please join me once again in applauding all of our new Honor Society members. Thank you. And now, will everyone please stand as our newest members of the National Honor Society recess? You'll be escorted by... Okay.
Glory, honor, love, we give thee, guardian of our precious days. Alma mater, loyal hearts rejoice to sing thy praise. Blue and white and gold to reign over mountain, range, and plain. Hail Pequannock, hail Pequannock, everlasting is thy name.
You can now meet your kids.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you very much for coming.